it doesn't add up, or it adds up perfectly. It's like the same thing. And welcome back to the Angry Teacher channel. I'm Richard Williams, the Angry Teacher. If it's your first time here, look at the playlist. Check out all the different things that could possibly speak to you, and give me a like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification, so you'll be kept in the loop for the next Angry Teacher dope videos coming out. Because like the people who've always been here, my subscribers, you know I love y'all. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the interaction. You are some great folks. You've been the ones building the brand, building the channel. I appreciate all of you. Check out the video. Today we're going to talk about rubrics. Coworker of mine, we always, have these debates, or not debates, but these discussions about how we can evaluate our students efficiently, effectively, and we came up with, we need to do a video about rubrics because it lightens the load a little bit. And even though it might take a little bit of time to kind of figure out, the nuances of the in-between scores and in-between assignments, it's still something that we can use, and it's a good thing. So let's check out why we need to use rubrics. A rubric is a scoring guide that helps us to evaluate a product, a performance, or a project. And so we need it because it kind of helps fasten or hasten the grading of our assignments. So let's get into it. We'll look at why we need to use it. I'll give you about 9 reasons why we need to use rubrics. So hey, let's get into it. Check them out. Number 1, why we should use rubrics is because it improves teaching. It helps the teacher focus in on particular elements, so you can break down the rubric, and that could be how you break down the lessons for each day. While you're teaching a particular thing, you know what the rubric will look like, you know what you're expecting, so you can teach to that element, so the students will be able to capitalize on that particular part of the product or the project or the performance, because you've already broken down the rubric, and you're teaching with the rubric in mind. Number 2, it improves expectations. When you provide the rubric for the student, or you have the rubric abreast in your head, so you know how you're grading, this breaks down all the gray areas, because they know exactly this is what the teacher is looking for, so I know exactly what to give him or her. It's in writing, so there's no if, ands, or question marks. It's right there. I asked you to make sure the product is colored. You didn't color it, I'm taking off points. That's just how it is. It's in black and white. It's in writing right there for you. Hang around for the end of the video. I'm going to give you 2 tips why we need to use, or how we can use, rubrics. It improves self-reflection, or students, before they turn in their work, they can evaluate what grade they think they're going to get. Why? Because it's, once again, in writing. It's been provided. So if I said, your performance, you need to speak loudly, and you're whispering behind the podium, or you are unclear in your delivery, then you know that it's going to affect your grade. There's no if, ands, or question marks. These are things that you can reflect. Yeah, you know what, he's right, because I wasn't very clear and I wasn't sure about something, so I didn't mention it very loudly, or I kind of grumbled my 3rd point. And so that the students will know that's their grade, because it's right in the rubric. You didn't live up to the rubric's expectations. It improves assessing or assessment. Here's what the rubric says. Here's what you did. For both the student and the teacher, it's easy to grade. I looked at, this is what that was expected. I looked at what you provided. It doesn't add up, or it adds up perfectly. It's like the same thing that you did. Good job, easy to grade. Or poor job, here's what you need to work on for the next one, because that's what the rubric is for. Easy assessments. Number 5, it improves instructions or directions. especially if the teacher has done this before or used it before. Now, if I know that I'm looking for students to be standing upright while they're making a presentation or they're performing, then I can explain that well because I know exactly what the rubric says and I know how to break that down for them while we're going through the course of the lesson or the day. And I keep reminding them because I know what's on the rubric and they will be expected to deliver on that instruction. So my instructions as a teacher will become a lot more clearer and more to the point, so the students will understand what I'm trying to get across to them. Number 6, it improves grading quality. Now, especially in this time of the pandemic, a lot of parents are calling unfair. A lot of students are saying they turned stuff in, but students are saying they didn't understand this when. With the rubric, there's no reason for all of this unfair. The rubric says XYZ, you give me ABC, that's the grade. There is no gray area. This is what you should have done. This is what you did. Hey, you didn't meet the expectation. And so it's easier to explain that to parents. You know, there is a rubric, we've been working on it for weeks, we've been going through the lessons, this is what I expected. Your child only did 50% of what was expected. That's the grade. There's no argument there. So it helps us with the grading quality. It helps us to explain our grades or grading system or the grades to the student and the parent and whomever else will ask, because it's just there. Once again, in writing, in black and white. Number 7, it improves feedback. I'm able to sit with little Susie and say, Susie, this is what you did wrong. This is what we could have done better. Do you see here where, you know, on your paper, you didn't indent anything? That's why I had to take off some points for that particular section of the look at the rubric. And Susie hopefully would be, oh yeah, I get it, Mr. Williams. That's why I got the bad grade. You're right. We went over this and I didn't do that. So I deserve the grade I got. Number 8, rubrics improve assignment quality. While we're working on the assignment, while we're working on the project, while we're working on the product, students are able to focus in on the different parts of the rubric. They can, and you know I'm big on this, checklist. If a rubric looks like a checklist, they can say, okay, he wants it in color, check. He wants more graphics, check. He wants me to elaborate on the different parts of this speech, check. There's something for them to pay attention to. There's something for them to focus in on. And so that will increase their learning, increase their focus, and it will help them when they're turning in their work. They can feel confident that I did everything that was asked for, so my grade should be okay. So my quality will be better because I'm going by exactly what's expected. And with that said, number 9, rubrics improve performance. Now, once again, because everything is laid out, because everything is said that's expected, then lo and behold, I will do what I need to do, because there's no if, ands, buts, or question marks. Everything is right there. I've been working on this. Hang around, the Teacher's Lounge is up next. Here's the first tip. Give the student or provide a copy of your rubric for the students so they know exactly what's expected before they submit their project, their product, or their performance. They'll know exactly what's expected so they can peruse it at their own leisure. If they don't understand something, they can mark it up. They can go back to you, the teacher, and ask questions for clarity so that when they turn in the final product, performance, or project, they'll be on point. That's tip number 1. Here's the second tip. When you have a lesson planned or you have a unit planned and you know the end product will require a rubric, use the rubric to move your lessons, or you know what's on the rubric. Even before before you give the student the rubric, make sure that they're working on parts of it throughout the entire unit so that they may not know at that point why they're doing all these things specifically, but when you give them the rubric, they'll be able to say, oh yeah, I know how to do that part. I've done that part. I can check that part off. I'm good. So that means that my product will be okay. And that's the end of the video. Thanks for coming to class today. I need you to go out there and be great. Hey, let's just go out there and teach.